Hi, I'm Gabi, and welcome to Gabbing with Gabi. In this series, we sit down with fellow artists who brought their knowledge and talent to the world via the internet. It's a chance for them to step away from their art and to tell us about themselves. Our guest today is Lynn. Lynn, please introduce yourself.
Name's Lynn Harris, and I'm a certified Bob Ross instructor, and I've been an instructor now for about 6 years.
Awesome. And can you tell us where you're from?
I'm originally from Daytona Beach, but right now I'm in a little town south of Houston called Missouri City.
Awesome. And how do you like Texas?
I like it, but it's not home.
Yeah, I bet. So I would imagine that you do mostly oil painting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yep. What subject matter do you like to paint?
I enjoy doing seascapes and animals and in landscapes.
Okay. Do you have a certain type of animal that you prefer to paint, like a favorite?
Birds.
Birds?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. And so when did you actually start oil painting?
So my wife got me the kit from Bob Ross on my 62nd birthday, and it sat around for pretty much a year. And she went to Florida to visit, and I pulled it out and did the little video that was on it, and said, "Hey, maybe Bob's right. Maybe I can do this."
Yeah, and that's
so that was 7 years ago. I did that.
Awesome. Good for you. That's a good way to fill the boredom sometimes. Do you have any other art education outside of that?
I do not.
You do not.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, you're talking about the Ross certification?
Well, you can tell us about that too. Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Yeah, so I took the Bob Ross course. It's a 3-week course, of course. And I did 1 week, 1 year, and 2 weeks the next year, 2016, I think it was. And then a guy named J.D. Wayne and I hooked up via chat. And he talked me into going to Wilson Bickford, which was really nice because, you have so many questions when you're a new painter, and especially an older painter like I was. So I went to Wilson, and he was very, very helpful. And sadly, we lost him a couple of years ago. But I became a Wilson Bickford trainer too.
Wow, you're lucky that you got to meet him. I heard that he was quite a guy.
Yes, I still can't watch his videos very long. I get so emotional with him because he was just the kind of guy that, like I call him up and say, "Hey, Wilson," or leave him a message, and within just a few minutes he'd call me back.
Wow, what a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. It's too bad, when people that are so talented, especially with, spreading their knowledge and just being great in the art community, when they're no longer with us, it's too bad.
Right.
So the name of your YouTube channel is The Painting Biker.
Correct.
How did that come about?
Well, I was trying to think of a name for it, and I'm a motorcyclist for about 40 years, and actually, I ran some things by JD and some other people, and the Painting Biker kept coming back, and I thought, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And what kind of bike do you ride?
I ride a Honda Goldwing touring bike.
Yeah, they're very comfortable.
They are. I've got 904,000 miles on a motorcycle. I'm going for 1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that takes dedication. I have a Harley, and I think last year I put 20 miles on it. So when you have kids, that happens.
You didn't even get the engine warm.
I know. So I'm from Minnesota, and there are deer here everywhere. So we don't ride at night. We don't ride the interstates. It's a lot more dangerous, and we have a lot less riding time here too. So, once I do get to Florida, I'm looking forward to getting on that bike more.
Yes.
All right, let's see. So what drew you to making content?
Once I figured out that I could do it, then it was just a creative, like I did woodworking and that kind of stuff for a while. And just being able to create and come up with something in my mind that I could put on canvas was just unbelievable. I mean, it was so exciting,
Yeah. And then you started a YouTube channel. What was kind of your aim with that?
So I got a public access TV here in the Houston market. I was on that for a while. And my wife says, "Why don't you put that on YouTube, your TV shows?" And so that's what I did. And then I was on 3 stations in Indiana for a while. And so I just dumped all of them, or started dumping on there. I still got about 30 shows to put out there right now.
That's so cool. I didn't know that you did that. How was that experience, like working?
Yeah, it was really nice because I got to do everything. I did all my own filming, own editing, and it was very rewarding. And it kept, like during the pandemic when I couldn't do classes and things like that, it kept me painting.
Yeah. Yeah. I started painting during the pandemic just because I'm like, I need something to do. So I'm
Yeah,
sure that there were people watching you that probably started because of that as well.
probably so.
Yeah, I bet there are. What are some challenges that you experienced, especially when you first started painting?
One of the biggest challenges, again, I was, in my 60s, and as age came along, so did tremors and shaking and things like that. So I had to learn how to get around those things. Um, and being able to see how colors mixed, how they blended together, and it's still a work in progress on coming up with right color mixes and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you use a mall stick at all?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. They're very helpful.
Yeah.
Um, what are some of the things when you first started painting that came naturally to you?
The talking part, when I would be painting and doing demonstrations, I didn't have any problem talking. And that came pretty natural. And once I got a little bit comfortable that I could paint a painting in front of people, then I could tell them a story behind something about it. Here's where we would be if we were in Minnesota or Wisconsin or Hawaii or whatever, and just weave a story around it.
Oh, cool. That's such a great idea. That's awesome. Um, when you first started painting, is there anything that you wish you had known?
That's a good question. Probably, I would have liked to have known how much the investment was going to be in all the paints and everything, because it kind of catches you by surprise. You don't think about a tube of paint costing $15 to $30 depending on the color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, do you have any advice for anybody who's just getting started?
Don't give up. Keep practicing, whether it's just painting a tree one day or doing a moon one afternoon. Don't stop putting paint on a canvas or a canvas board or whatever you're practicing on, but do practice as much as you can.
Yeah. 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 Let's see. So as you started painting, did you feel like there were certain plateaus that you hit or kind of landmarks that you got to kind of in that process at all?
Yes. Well, most people struggle with some element, whether it's a cloud or a tree or bushes or something like that. And so the more I practiced, and then they became really pop out on a canvas, then you get really excited because look at this, and then you just keep duplicating that. What I did was I took a 18 by 24 piece of board and painted it with a special paint, and I split it into fours. And I would practice all those elements, painting the mountain like Bob did, or doing a tree or something like that. And I just did that every day for probably months, something, until I could get good at it and teach people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was one thing when I started. My practice was I have to do a whole painting, and looking back, it's like I try to tell people that, don't waste your time, don't waste your canvas, learn how to use those brushes, get that memory and the strokes in and all that stuff. So
Absolutely, muscle memory is really important, especially like with evergreen trees and things like that. Whether you're doing them up or down, muscle
yeah.
memory is very important.
Yeah. So speaking of your evergreens, do you prefer to do them with a fan brush or with a filbert?
The fan.
Yeah.
The filbert looks nice, but I like the fan.
Yeah. I still am not good at the fan brush.
Yeah.
I just gave up on trying.
Yeah. And if you're doing a really big one, Bob's oval brush, the 1 inch oval, that makes really nice, big
Yeah.
evergreens.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done that too before. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Who in your life supports you in the work that you do?
My wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have three friends that are kind of like family to me. There's JD Wayne, Mickey Klein, and Sherry Pence. Those three, we talk pretty much every day about different things, share our pictures we paint, and critique each other. So those are my mentors right now.
Yeah. When you first started, was your wife supportive of it? I mean, I think you said she gave you the kit, right?
That's correct. Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
one that actually pushed me to go down into take the Ross course, because I guess she saw something that I didn't, but it worked out really well.
Yeah. I think we're all our worst critics anyway, so it's good to have somebody that stands behind you. Do you have a favorite classical artist or piece of artwork?
So my favorite old master is Homer, out of uh, Maine. He did mostly landscapes in his later years, but he's my favorite.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. How many pieces do you think you have painted in your art career?
Um, Probably in the neighborhood of 800.
Hmm. Yeah. And how many do you think you did before you looked at them and you were like I could sell this piece?
That's a good question because I still don't think I have that.
Oh,
Um, there are pieces that I've painted that I look at and I hang on my wall.
yeah.
But yeah, probably I was 2 3 years down the road before I was happy enough to hang one on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think part of it too is just putting it out there, but it it's tough to look at a piece of artwork that you do, especially at first, and think like that's good enough for somebody to pay me for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
Um,
other part, and the other part is that as you're painting it, you're a foot and a half, 2 feet away, and then
yeah.
you walk out of your studio and come back in. You say, "Oh, dang, that looks pretty good."
Yeah. My phrase for that is distance makes the art grow fonder.
Yes. Good.
So do you sell any of your pieces then?
I have sold some.
Mhm.
I don't market them to sell. People have seen them and asked me, and I've sold them, but I don't actually market them.
Okay.
I've probably
Okay.
given more. I've given more away than I've sold.
Yeah. Yes. I've done that the first couple years I was painting. I was like, everybody's getting paintings for Christmas because you can only paint so much before you're like, I have to do something with some of these.
I know. Yeah, the storage gets to be an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a specific piece that you've done that's your 100% your favorite piece?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have three.
Okay.
One I did with Ellen Ty with a seascape that
Okay.
is hanging in my dining room. It's just gorgeous. And then I've painted two with Robert Warren, a decanter and a oil lamp. And they both, all three are just gorgeous paintings. I can't believe I did them.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so fun, especially when you're not looking at it and I have one piece that I keep for myself, and every single time I look at it, it's just like, that's mine. That's my piece of artwork.
I know.
Um, Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be sitting at the dining room table and I'll look at it. I always tell my wife, I just can't believe I painted that. It's just so pretty.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you see art as something that you're going to do long term?
Yes. Yeah, I plan to paint until I can't paint.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think makes you unique as an artist?
Um, Probably just my perspective and humor, my ability to see things in nature that, as a motorcyclist, you get out there and you see nature, but when you're painting, you actually see depth in the there, and I think that makes it unique for me. Instead of driving by and saying, "Oh, there's a pond and a tree," now, as a motorcyclist and an artist, you see the different greens and you see the different hues in the water. So yeah, I think it gives you a different perspective.
Hmm. Do you think, because I've noticed this myself, do you think that there's similarities to the concentration that it takes to paint a picture and the concentration that it takes to ride a motorcycle?
Absolutely, yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
I would agree with that.
yeah. Because you can't, I always think of, both of them. It's like you can't really think about all the other distractions in life because you need to focus on what you're doing.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you get distracted, it'll show in your painting.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
tree will be a little off, or your color will be a little different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have other hobbies?
So I do resin work. Making coasters and jewelry and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
painting is my mainstay.
Yeah. I always thought resin would be fun, but it's kind of one of those things. It's a little bit messy and you need a lot of space for it.
Yeah, it's not a cheap hobby
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, no kidding. No kidding. Okay, so I have some bonus questions. I like to come up with weird questions to ask
Okay.
people. So my first bonus question for you is art aside, in life, what is your favorite color?
Mint green.
Okay. Do you ever find yourself reaching for that kind of color and putting it into your artwork more than you probably would if it wasn't your favorite color?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a little harder to mix. You don't buy a tube of mint green. You have to mix that.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you come up with that?
I use a little bit of sap green and phthalo green and white, and I can get pretty close.
Yeah. 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 That's a pretty color. Mine is electric pink. So every now and again, I have some sunsets that have some pretty cool pink in them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Bonus question number 2. If you could learn any one specific thing about the universe, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I think I would like to know about the sun and the sunspots, how it affects our weather. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, bonus question number 3. What do you think is detrimental advice that some people give to new artists?
Hmm. Uh, I don't know. That's a tough one there. Um, I I I know when in my situation when people would tell me they liked it, you could look on their face and you could tell they didn't. So I guess just being genuine about how being honest with a painter to help them.
Mhm. Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, it's so easy to look at something, especially, I mean, whether you're an artist or not, and just be like, oh, that's really pretty. And it's like, sometimes you need to actually give people constructive criticism because
Right.
you
You
can't
gotta have,
grow.
yeah, and you got to have those people in your life. That's what my wife and JD and the others are
Mhm.
so good at.
Yeah.
Never a negative, but it's just, hey, you should try this, or just think about this, or something like that. Never like, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I did an interview with JD. I'm sure that you know that.
Mhm.
And he is a phenomenal artist, and he's definitely like, if you were going to have somebody to have as a mentor and have as a sounding board, he would be a great person because he really is, and he will tell you what he thinks, and
Yes.
just a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we wrap this up, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share with everybody?
Well, instead of watching YouTube all the time, pick an artist and whatever they're doing, try it. Don't just sit there and watch show after show after show, but pick one and get on there and do your best to try to duplicate it. And as you do that, maybe that artist has got a great sunset, and you see another artist down the road that's got a great landscape, and you can mix the two together. But yeah, because you can sit there for hours watching people paint, but you never
Mhm.
learn anything that way, other than you
Yeah.
can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Really pick up that brush and get to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only paint. You can scrape it back off and start over.
Yes, yes. I always tell people are always like, "Oh, oil, it must be so difficult." No, it's really forgiving actually,
Yeah.
and if it
Right.
doesn't work out, just start over.
I know there's many times, an element like a barn or something didn't work out right. You just scrape it off and start over.
Mhm.
And nobody ever knows that you put it on there 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the best pictures I've come up with have started horrifically and just turned into something that I didn't plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because you can start with an idea one way, but by the time you get through with it, it's completely different than you started with. And that's neat too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so can you tell us all where we can find you if we want to find you online?
It's at the Painting Biker. That's my YouTube channel. Or you can email me at Lynn at It's Fun to Paint, and I'd be happy to help anybody. My viewers from the TV shows send me emails and questions all the time.
Awesome. I was going to ask you something about that. Do you do like in-person classes?
I do.
Yeah.
I do classes, and then I do civic organizations have me come in and do benefits or fundraisers and things like that. And I give them a good price, but yeah, I do those a lot too.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a certain, I guess it's not nice to group people, but do you have a certain demographic of people that you like to work with or?
I like to work with the 40 to 60-year-olds the best.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because those are the people that have watched Bob, or they've seen other artists and think they have to have so much talent, and then when they hear my story, then they kind of get it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I like to work with anybody that is excited to do it myself,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's about all the questions that I have for you. Thank you so much for coming on, Lynn. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to possibly chatting with you in the future, and make sure that you get the rest of those videos up on your YouTube channel because I'm definitely interested in watching them.
I will do that, and I'm just thoroughly excited that you chose me, and to help other people, especially older people, get into it. Mother Goose didn't start till she was in her 80s, so at least I got a little head start on that.
Yeah, yeah, and don't wait for tomorrow. Anybody out there who wants to try, start soon.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much again for coming on. I look forward to again chatting with you sometime in the future. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure that you put them in the comment section of our videos, and I'm sure we'll do our best to address them. Again, I'm Gabby, and this is Lynn. Make sure that you guys go to his channel and subscribe, check out his work that he has done, and keep on coming back to our channels and see what we come up with in the future. So,
absolutely.
yeah. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Until next time, I really do hope that you guys fall in love with oil painting just as much as we have. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye bye now.